he requested.
Superb, Miss Hunter. Oh, quite superb. Or do you not agree?
Could not be a better fit. Not if you had been measured for it.
Oh, please be so good as to sit down, Miss Hunter. Oh, oh, perfect. I mean, it's quite perfect. Over here, if you don't mind, Miss Hunter. There. Now, excellent. Are you quite comfortable?
Yes, thank you. How long do you wish me to remain here, sir?
Well, an hour, perhaps. Perhaps longer.
An hour.
But not, I assure you, an hour of tedium. Let us see how we can best entertain and divert you. Do you enjoy funny stories, Miss Hunter?
Why, yes.
Oh, then I shall tell you some. And all of them, I assure you, absolutely true. Let me tell you about George, our verger. He is the most extraordinary character. Well, it seems somebody wanted to find his way to Winchester. And George, well, I mean, he really is such an eccentric. You might mistake him for a scarecrow. I mean, his legs are all asplay. His arms always thrust out like this. His head shaped like a turnip. And on his head, he wore the most extraordinary hat.
Then Mr. Rucastle, walking up and down on the other side of the room, began to tell me a series of the funniest stories I've ever listened to. I cannot imagine how comical he was. But I laughed till I was quite weary. 2 days later, this same performance was gone through again.
This is a piece of cod that passeth all understanding. Oh, bless my soul. Is that the hour already?
Time's passed very quickly and most amusingly, sir.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say so. But now, it is time for you to attend to your duties. So go and change your dress and then look to little Edward in the nursery.
You can easily imagine, Mr. Holmes, how curious I became as to what the meaning of this extraordinary performance could be. Since my face was always turned away from the window, I became consumed with the desire to see what was going on behind my back. On the very next occasion, I managed to conceal a small piece of mirror in my hand.
Oh, George, I can't tell you. I mean, you take
In the midst of my laughter, I raised my handkerchief to my eyes and was able, with a little management, to see all there was behind me.
Very upright man, very upright.
There was nothing.
Sure of himself. And George didn't like it.
At least that was my first impression.
One tiny bit. Until the fella, he wanted
At second glance, however, I perceived that there was a bearded man leaning against the railings which bordered our field and was looking up earnestly at the house. I lowered my handkerchief and glanced at Mrs. Rucastle to find her eyes fixed upon me in a most searching gaze. She said nothing, but I'm convinced she divined I had a mirror in my hand.
Jethro, there's an impertinent fellow who stares up at Miss Hunter.
Oh, does he indeed? No friend of yours, Miss Hunter?
No. I know no one in these parts.
Oh, dear me. How very impertinent.
Quite intolerable.
Kindly turn around, Miss Hunter, and motion him to go away.
Surely it would be better if we took no notice.
What, and have him loitering here always? No, turn around, Miss Hunter, and wave him away. Like this.
That was a week ago. And from that time, I've not sat in the window, nor have I worn the blue dress, nor seen the man with a beard.
But something else occurred. An event. Which caused you to summon me with such urgency.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Mr. Holmes, I've never been so frightened.
Do not distress yourself, Miss Hunter. Compose yourself, and then tell us what it was.
There is a turret to the house which appears not to be inhabited at all. A door which faces that which leads into the quarters of the Tollers opens into the turret, but it is invariably locked. It was only yesterday that the chance came for me to pass beyond the door.
Toller!
Yes.
So it was you then. I thought it must be when I saw the door open.
I'm so frightened.
Oh, my dear young lady. Oh, my dear young lady. What has frightened you, my dear young lady?
I was foolish enough to go up into the shuttered turret.
You noticed it was shuttered then?
Yes.
Photography is one of my hobbies. I've made my dark room up there. But what an observant young lady one has come upon.
It was so lonely and eerie in this dim light that I was frightened and ran out again. It's so dreadfully still in here.
Only that?
Why, yes. What do you think? What other reason?
Why do you think I keep that door locked?
I'm sure I don't know.
It is to keep people out who have no business there, do you see?
I'm sure if I had known...
Well, you know now. And if you ever set foot across that threshold again, I'll throw you to the mastiff.
then I thought of you, Mr. Holmes. I had no difficulty in getting leave to come to Winchester this morning, but I must be back by 3 o'clock, for Mr. and Mrs. Rucastle are going on a visit and will be away all evening, so that I must look after the child. Now I've told you all of my adventures, Mr. Holmes. What does it mean? And what should I do?
Does the unspeakable child Edward have a friend?
Yes, an equally unpleasant child at one of the farm cottages.
Splendid. Dr. Watson and I will arrive at the Copper Beeches at 4:30 precisely. But before then, there are 1 or 2 things I should like you to do. I would not ask this of you, Miss Hunter, if I did not think you were quite exceptional.